turn it up just a little bit more. Right about there. Let's go. Let's get it. Be sure on your way in, smash the like button. Cover to the like button, right? Like Trayvon Diggs would do. Let's get it. Appreciate all, and I mean absolutely all other subscribers. Appreciate you guys for help rocking the nation. We're going to talk about Cowboys beast in the East, Dalton Schultz pay date conversation that rules the nation. Cowboys also brand new partnership deals. I should have put that in the title. But we're going to do Q&A as well. Y'all know how this thing rocks. Appreciate everybody. Let's go. Thank those who watched the Neville Gallimore film observation. Thank those who also left feedback on that, and as well as the LVE group. Let's get it. Come on. Shout out to the YouTube for always bringing in new spices. For the algorithm. Shout out to you, Austin Gracia. Appreciate you. Say next in the house. Let's go. Turn me up.
Fatality.
Like this motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Come on. Ain't no party like a Law Nation party. Hey. Ho. Lego. Amigo. Let's go, everybody. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. There will be no final word tonight, but there will be some information for the nation for right now about Dalton Schultz. Of course, you guys heard of Michael Gelkin to come out and said basically, and I'm paraphrasing, that they are expecting to allow Dalton Schultz to play this year on that franchise tag. But we do know how news float around in the Cowboys world. There will always be the deadline make deal situation and scenario. And speaking of that, Cowboy Nation, we just got to be honest and real with ourselves that Prescott played on the tag, right? And Law played on the tag, right? And the only person who kind of escaped from that reality of the tag was Ezekiel Elijah Elliott. And one can argue if it's a situation far as money, the money aspect of it, and you start to look at it like, okay, real talk, Law won the battle against the Jones, right? Ezekiel won the battle against the Jones if you're talking about the money aspect of it. And, of course, Dak Prescott won that battle. And it shouldn't be like that, but that's just how this thing rocked. That's how it flows, Cowboy Nation. Unfortunately, that's how it rocks. So the Cowboys beast in the East, and we'll go over that. And, of course, Dalton Schultz, big payday. All right, so it will eventually happen. Shout out to you, Ultra Cowboy. Thank you for jumping in. Shout out to all of the notification squad. I normally don't go live at this time, but hey, we here now. Bring it. We ain't going nowhere, right?
Want the truth? You can't handle
Let's
the
get
truth.
it. Cowboy Nation, really appreciate you guys. So before we get into everything, shout out to 105.3 The Fan. We're going to pull some of the audio to go over this. And let me get this set up. I should have set this up earlier for our Schultz, but you guys will see the video that I was talking about far as my guy, Neville Gallimore. The thing is with Gallimore, his two best games last season came against the Washington team and as well as the Giants. So if you're trying to use that as a barometer, it would be hard pressed to do such, right? But neither here nor there, Cowboy Nation. It is a situation whereas we will have to say to ourselves, is this what the Cowboys really want to do? Collectively speaking, is to lay upon and fall upon Gallimore. Now, that was a good play. Now, don't get me wrong. These guys play in the National Football League. Watch how he bulldozed 69 all the way down. He fights right through the chest or what have you. And this was a dog good play. I'm not finna discount that. That was a professional player that he did like that. And 2 for the price of 1. Both of those guys were laid out like Family Guy. And then when you look over here and you see Gallimore gets in and he put pressure on Allen, will this be enough tape? He only had 164 snaps, right? And one can argue 8 pressures out of those 164. That's in one game for Aaron Donald, right? So we got to contextualize all of that. And on top of that, I really think that Gallimore will be more of a 1-tech versus a 3-tech. But neither here nor there. Let's listen to 105.3 The Fan.
Dominance has never been this. The difference between statistical dominance and actual dominance has never been this big. By the way, salute to Jerry and Stephen Jones for having the correct way of looking at this Dalton Schultz situation. Morning News has a story up about how he's likely going to have to wait for the big multi-year contract that he wants. Michael Gelkin writing today that talks would have to take on new life for a deal to get done. The deadline's in 10 days, July 15th. Yeah. And salute to the Cowboys for standing strong. Okay, but the stats in this story are just fascinating to me. I want your guys' take on it. We do have the G-Bag of the day in 3 minutes. Let me give them to you. Prescott totaled a 124.1 passer rating on throws targeting Schultz, completing 76 of 97 attempts. That's 78.4%, 797 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick. Yeah. The QB receiver connection was one of 49 across the league to log more than 80 attempts. The only one more efficient was Matt Stafford to Cooper Kupp at a 127.7. So you heard my take. There's never been a discrepancy bigger than statistical and actual dominance than what you have with Dak and Dalton Schultz. But the numbers are there. It says it's the second best combination in pro football. Zach, where are you at with this?
All right, before they go with their details of all of this, first and foremost, let's not do this. Let's not say that the value added is equal. Let's not do that. Let's not be people that's reaching at this point. Let's not do this. We know that stats can say some things, and we know that stats can also perform another. Keep in mind the route distribution, right? Far as what Cooper Kupp ran versus what Dalton Schultz ran. And then on top of that, think of it, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm looking at the game plan and I'm sitting there saying, hey, if 2 can beat us, let them beat us, right? If 2 can be, if I meant to say, if Schultz can beat us, let him beat us, basically. That's the reality of it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to make sure that we roll coverage, the best safety over the top on Cooper's side. And then on top of that, I'm getting my hands down best second defensive back on the team to funnel, to cover, to bracket if possible. CD Lamb. Everyone else, hey, y'all can beat me however you want. You can try to beat me however you want. I don't give a care if he catch 30 passes in one game. That is what they did with Dalton Schultz. But when you think about it and you look at Cooper Kupp's situation, 145 receptions, 189 targets. That's first. There's no one who had more targets than Cooper Kupp. Excuse me, let me say it again. There's no one that had more targets than Cooper Kupp. There's no one that had more receptions than Cooper Kupp. There's no one last season that had more reception yards or receiving yards, 1,947. than Cooper Kupp. There's nobody who had more touchdowns than Cooper Kupp. And all I seen what the LA Rams do for that particular team and said, hey, we need to put more and more weapons around you, Cooper Kupp. We need to go out there and grab a Odell Beckham, who I truly believe they won't even have a Super Bowl ring if Odell Beckham didn't play in that Super Bowl. If you guys go back and watch the first half of that game, Odell was eating before he tore his ACL. But I get it. Some people don't watch football like that, and they casually watch, and they say, well, Cooper Kupp did everything. No. Right? They made that acquisition, that trade, or what have you, or that pickup because he was on the streets before Robert Woods got even hurt. That year, earlier part of that year, was it Deshaun, what's his name, Jackson? They had him because they wanted to do this for Cooper Kupp, make it easier, not make it more difficulty. Van Jefferson numbers for the casual fans of Cowboys wouldn't even think that he had better numbers. Better numbers. Look, his numbers were very, very close to Amari Cooper's. Let that sizzle down in your mind. Let that sink in as far as yardage. And he had 6 touchdowns. We talking about their third option. And I ain't finna talk about their tight end at this point. Look, I get it. People will look at Dalton Schultz stats or whatever he had out there and say, man, we think the world of Dalton Schultz, right? The 78 receptions, the 808 yards, right? The 8 tubs, right? Those are good things. And the passer rating when targeted was 122. I get all what they're saying, but he ain't no Cooper Kupp. He's not. He is a guy that's going to run 5, 6 yards, turn, and he's going to see the ball. He is the safety release valve for the Dallas Cowboys. Right? And it's not his fault. Like him seeking the type of money that he's seeking, Cowboy Nation, it's not his fault. We will all do the same. If we present the numbers, right, and we present the production that he exhibit, regardless of how he got there, sure, we're going to be like, nah, dog, you got to pay me. And then especially in Njoku, I don't give a dog what the market say. But if I'm Dalton Schultz, I'm looking at it like, nah, man, shoot. Ever since I've been playing in the National Football League, my numbers, my stats, my accolades been better than that kid over there. You're going to have to pay me. And especially since you slapped the franchise tag on. People fail to realize the word franchise and tag meaning that you are their franchise. You see, the Cowboys, it should just be called tag. But the Cowboys slap, let me pick the slap sound, and that's the reality of it. They slapped the franchise tag on him, meaning that, hey, you better be prepared to pay this kid north of what the franchise tag is. There's no one who gets slapped the franchise tag, and when you do the negotiation, you get paid what said franchise tag is. The franchise tag is now the base, baby. You don't slap the franchise tag on them and then try to negotiate the salary lower. You don't do that. So that is math 101. That's business class 101. And who am I to tell the Cowboys on how to operate and do business? They made more money than I can count and see, But the reality of it is those are the facts, though. Let me listen to more of the audio.
I think it's high percentage types of throws and catches that you have there from Dak Prescott to Dalton Schultz. It's not a surprise that those numbers are high. I mean, it's what, within a 5 to 8 yard box that you're having these pitch and catch. I mean, it should be a high volume of one.
It's a beautiful way to throw the ball.
Right.
Big facts.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically we're going to throw it over the middle, we're going to throw it into the flat, and all right, boom, there's an easy 5 yards for you. It's a Dak and dunk type of offense there with Dalton Schultz. He's a safety valve.
Yeah.
And you need that to help just matriculate the ball down the field for you. And there's a role for Dalton Schultz in this offense, no doubt about it. But it also is why the Cowboys are playing this the way they are, because they know that is a role that we can fill with a guy like Jake Ferguson, who we just drafted. We're going to develop him this year, and then he can fill that role next year. And we're not going to pay this dude $15 million a year, which he's seeking, and somebody else can go and get that. So there was an article last week, I think CBS Sports had it, where who's the most overvalued player on every team? Dalton Schultz was that guy for the Cowboys.
So why would you do the kid like that? Why would you slap the $10.9 million franchise tag on him and expecting him to sign a deal for 11 or 12? It don't work that way. You had to be comfortable enough to say to yourself, okay, if I'm going to slap the franchise tag on him, then I got to be willing to rework the market or to pay him to reset the market, especially when his stats were better than Dallas Goedert, who's making 13 or close to 14 million, right? Mark Andrews, now his stats wasn't better than his, but Dalton Schultz can literally say from a stat-based aspect of it, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and then there's me, far as my stat line. And if you want to stretch it for the last 2 seasons and add both, he's second. He's right behind Travis Kelce. That's the craziest thing if you combine the 2 years. But there's the problem. I truly believe in 10 days, right? It will be, we got 10 days, that there will be some type of breaking news.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
That the Cowboys either are going to pay this man or we're going to hear what Michael Gehlken is saying in his article about the Cowboys are expecting him to play on that franchise tag for a prove-it deal. Let's listen to more what these guys got to say.
Okay, I was just curious because, Brian, if he's as good as Cooper Kupp, I think we're making a mistake here. We got to get a deal for him.
You know he's not.
Well, okay, to me, the way the usage is perfect for Dalton Schultz. Seam routes, crossing routes, waggles, boots, things where he's running the opposite direction of where the defense is going.
Maybe a good rub route from time to time, Wolchuk. It's a personal favorite of yours. It's a fun one. And it's 3 yards at a time. It's 4 yards at a time. I can list off guys like Dan Arnold and
I was trying to have a serious conversam there about scheme, and look what you did.
Me too. I was talking about the rub route. That's like a staple in any good offense.
Yeah. I'm throwing off my damn game. I'm embarrassed.
It's the yards per target for me with Dalton Schultz that is a little bit difficult. It's like 10.4. Yeah. 10.4 yards per target, which is it does not stack up very well when you look at some other guys across the league. All the guys that are really stretching the field 13 yards at a time, 14 yards at a time, 10 yards. That's what it is. It's the security blanket. It's easy to skew the numbers on, okay, the quarterback rating was good there because they completed so highly efficient. Oh my gosh, the completion percentage. Look at this. And it's 4, 8, 9, 10 yards. And then Goddard and Kelce and Waller, Kittle, they're going 15, 16 yards a pop. And let's do this thing for real.
Yeah, that was their point there. Good throw by Dak Prescott to Schultz on that one. Shout out to Ultra Cowboy. He says Dak loves Schultz, so it's hard for me to believe he does not re-sign with the Cowboys. Now, granted, the Cowboys got him under this one-year deal, because it's the franchise tag, and he signed a $10.9 million franchise tag. Now, now here's the craziest thing, Ultra Cowboy. In order for Schultz to go elsewhere, there would have been a team that would have been willing to reset the market for him. And that is what he's seeking on the open market, basically. I don't see if he's going through all of this fuss to get south of what David Njoku got. If you look at Njoku's APY, it's way up there. I wish I had the visual chart that I had before. I don't know what I did with it, but I can tell you straight up that the Cowboys should have let him test the open market. Oh, let me see. I got it right here. Let me see. Bam. Okay, I do got it. Okay, so Njoku is $3.6 million, right? Mark Andrews, we talked about this before, $14 million. Goddard is $14.2. Kelsey is $14.3. And Kittles is $15 million, right? So what the Cowboys did, they slapped a franchise tag on him that immediately gave him a base of $10.9 million. And what the Cowboys should have done is allow him to test the open market. And if any team is willing to pay him more than George Kittle or more than Travis Kelsey or more than Dallas Goedert, then you say, hey, go ahead. We love you, Schultz, man. We couldn't keep you. And then if he balls out, at least you get a third-round draft pick for comps, right? That play, my friend, would have been a better one. You would have still had drafted a tight end, Jake Ferguson. And I'm not saying that Jake Ferguson is Dalton Schultz, or you could have at least went out before the other guys like the Hayden Hursts of the world. I think O.J. Howard was available, and scooped them up for $3 to $4 million. That would have been a whole lot different versus paying this man 15 to 14 to maybe 16 to 17 million dollars is what he's seeking. I don't see Schultz, and I can't count his money, and I'm not saying that the Cowboys should play hardball with this guy and nail him to the cross for this. But I just don't see on the open market that a team look at Schultz and say, you know what, I'm going to give him $16 million, right? So even if the Cowboys allowed him to test the open market and he come back and say, well, there's no deal out there available for me, then the Cowboys could have scooped him up for $8 to $9 million with conditions and things like that. But I'm just an analyst, man, at my day job, man. I'm not a guy that deal with football contracts, but I can tell you I deal with a lot of numbers. And these numbers here just don't crack out to say that on the open market that Schultz would got 16 to 17 million. Now, if a team did do that, then you're still in the gray spot, because the grace spot would be that, okay, well, you can either match it now, right? Or you could look back and say, well, ball out, Schultz. We'll sign the last order. We'll have the last jersey for you over here signing. We'll frame it, put it on the wall somewhere, and we hope to get a third-round compensatory pick from you, right? That, my friend, would have been an option. Jay all day said Cowboys aren't that smart, Law. Yeah, so my friends, that is exactly what's my same battle fight for, believe it or not, Dak Prescott, and as well as for DeMarcus Lawrence. I keep the same stance that if you fickle with Dak Prescott, let him test the open market. And I think that the Cowboys were not that foolish to allow him to test the open market. I recall that the Colts came out and they said that they were willing to pay $35 to $37 million for Dak Prescott APY. So it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. Let me see. I got some audio, but let me see if someone's waiting over here. Okay. All right. Bear with me, Coach Marv. Let me start off with the Beast in the East. You know what? I'm gonna let Coach Marv come on in. Coach, you are now live.
What's going on, Law, man?
Nothing to it.
You know, it's great that you're talking about this Schultz thing, and it all because of the franchise tag.
Yeah.
When you don't use a tag like that for where it's particularly was put out there in the collective bargaining agreement to franchise franchise players, not players that's okay or good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you use it there, then you have a tendency then to set a market for a player. You set the market for him.
You
didn't
said
go
it,
out there
yeah.
and find out what the market is.
Right.
You set the market for him, and when you set the market for him, now you can't go back because you have already set the market of where you're gonna go from there up. But this is a non-issue, Cowboy fan.
Okay.
Let me give you the scenarios here. One, is Schultz happy because he's going to get paid $10.9 million this year, where he's probably been on a rookie contract that probably paid him $2 million in 4 years?
I don't think he's happy.
He's got to be happy. He's probably triple what he done made in the last 4 years with the Cowboys in this 1 year.
It don't appears that he's happy though, Coach. I think that he's disgruntled about it.
Listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about this. Let's talk about the money. Now he may not be looking for. He might not be happy for a long run, but he is going to be happy with cashing those checks every Tuesday or those direct deposits, because he hadn't seen direct deposits like that in his whole career, in probably his whole life.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
2, if he plays well, if he balls out, Cowboy fans. He ain't going nowhere. They gonna sign him anyway.
Yeah, the price of the bag gonna go up too.
Listen, if the price of the bag goes up, that's just how it is. And if he plays well, it goes up, but because he really has even went to another level, and
true.
You paid the price.
Well, Coach,
okay.
let me do this for context. D-Law was willing to play for literally $14 million, right? They franchise tag him that first time. It was like right at 13, right? That was the average salary, and he balled out. And in between that time frame, your guy Khalil Mack got the world's biggest contract from Chicago. And it jumped up to 20 to $21 million. And that's the difference of waiting out a year, right? So who won on that? He bet on himself because he didn't want to bet on himself, but the Cowboys said, prove it.
This is what I'm trying to get you to understand, Law. And this might be just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But fans, me, you, Cowboy Nation, we shouldn't even care who won.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about as it relates to the money.
Well, if they lost out, because we are programmed, for Stephen Jones has programmed us to think if somebody won on the contract, now we can't get it. No, and we all know that's crazy, because if you're able to put signing bonus money up front,
right,
you're able to manipulate the cap. Now,
right.
This is a theory, and I have said this theory on a couple of shows, and I'm just shooting this theory. And Law, I do work in my current position, and I went to where I graduated in. I work in accounting.
Okay,
right?
Great.
So
great.
I have been saying this about the Cowboys this year. Cowboys are not going to go out there and sign nobody.
Right.
That they can get them all under the cap and can bring them in a low cap number. They're not writing no $10, $20, $15 million checks this year. Off the top.
Big facts.
They spent $100 and some million in cash out bonuses last year when they signed back to that 66 and then turned around and gave them $76 million in 3 months, and they did some more money there this year. They got a cap, internal cap of saying we're not writing out no big time checks. Now we might pay them during the year, but we're not writing big bonuses out, because if we wanted to write big bonuses out, they could have got Wagner and got just as many free agents as anybody and still had $15 million on the cap. But all they had to do is write out these big bonuses up front and spread that bonus out, and you could cut the cap number down. That's what the Rams did. The Rams probably done paid over $100 million in signing bonus this year. So get these salaries in line so they can fit under the cap. The Cowboys, if you look at everybody we signed this year, every free agent contract we did, even when we were trying to sign Gregory, there was no upfront money in his contract.
Yeah, but they have all of
They're
those
not writing
stipulations on it.
big dollar checks this year. Now that might happen next year, but that is not in the budget for this year because you can get under the cap if you want to write big checks.
Yeah, I remember.
Joku cap number $3 million.
I remember you sent me that information on Njoku, and you was
they're
like,
not writing big checks. Look at it, Long.
Yeah, it was
all doing their whole all the operations this year. They want to sign people to. If they offer you $5 million, they're trying to do $5 million 2-year deal. They're not saying, okay, we want you to have a $5 million hit. But we'll give you $15 million up front, do a 4-year contract where, yes, you have a $5 million hit on the cap, but you're going to get big money up front. We're going to pay it up front. They're not writing big checks this year. Now, that could be a business decision that you're saying we're not writing $100 million every year like we did last year in checks right off the rip to give to people, and we're not doing that consecutive years. That's how you become billionaires. You don't continue to do the same thing over and over again. So that's what I'm saying about Schultz. If Schultz plays well, he will be back. I think Schultz, if they're gonna let him play on the tag, let him play on the tag. Because you already made the mistake as Cowboy organization. Let's not try to clear up their mistake. They know they made a mistake when they signed that franchise tag for Dalton Schultz. Because if they didn't feel that they made a mistake with this, they would have already assigned him to a contract. They would have been got him a long-term deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Unless they try to squeeze it down to something that's lower than Njoku's. Maybe that's the pushback. That's the only way I can look at it.
Didn't Njoku get signed for a franchise tag?
He got the tag on him, and then he got the APY of 13.6 mil.
Okay, I did. I think I might have sent me.
You sent me a breakdown.
Yeah, if you look at that breakdown, that contract.
Yeah.
If Dalton Schultz want to sign that, I'll be fine. Don't believe the APR.
Yeah.
He got that contract in 2 years.
All of the APY is fluff. It's fluff.
Yeah,
but the agents got egos too, though. The agents, they saying, man, my client, because I got others, and they got big egos, man.
But let me say this right quick, Law. Let me say this right quick. They signed him to a franchise tag.
Right.
In Cleveland, for Joku.
Yeah.
They believed in him because he had a great season a good season the year before. And they felt they had a quarterback now. And they believe in him. I'm not saying that we believe in him. I'm not saying nobody else believe in him or whatever. But they showed that they believed in him because they signed him in a franchise tag and they went here and got him a long-term deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And
we did not believe in Schultz. So we did a dumb move by signing him to a franchise tag that we did not believe that we were going to sign. So somebody did a knee-jerk reaction and signed a franchise tag. Let's do the franchise tag. You only do that for players that you really believe in because you know you're going to go ahead and sign them to a contract. You just saying, hey, this is going to be done before anybody else gets done because we believe it.
But let me ask you this, Coach.
Sign these franchise tags like we've been doing.
You don't do that. But also, Coach, let me ask you this though. Right now, we're complaining about the $23 million that we got in reserve, right? All right, we're just sitting on the table. $23 million.
And we'll have more if we sign. We'll have even more if we sign.
Yeah, we'd have had 33. Look, don't you know we would have 33? Look, the Cowboys literally said, you know what? We will put the 10.9 on him so that we can at least say, you know, we don't have any money to pay other people or to bring in other people that would take away. we would sacrifice the 10 so we can at least keep the 20. So that's exactly what I see, because there's no way that if they didn't sign Schultz, right, and we're sitting here with $33 million, that this fan base would be all hush hush. And I don't want to hear about they saving this money for next season. No, that's not how this works.
Well, they can't. There's a floor.
Right.
People talk about the cap.
Right.
They talk about the cap, but there is a floor in the collective bargaining agreement. You can't go. Everybody got to have at least a certain amount of salary, so they're gonna try to play around with that. But this is Cooper. You tell me we were talking about Cooper.
Cooper Kupp or
This
Cooper?
totally tells you Cowboys.
Amari
man.
Cooper or Cooper
It wasn't
Kupp?
about money.
You talking about Amari?
It wasn't
Cooper.
about money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't about money. They didn't want Cooper on this football team.
Yeah.
And the caller, I mean the person that said the thing in there saying, man, they ain't gonna get rid of Schultz because Dak likes Schultz. He loved Lyle Collins. Where Lyle Collins at?
He gone, dog.
Yeah, that was his boy. He went to court for him.
Yeah, testify.
So
Yeah.
that's right. So he gone. So this was not about. They didn't get rid of Cooper because of money. This was not a move because of money. If they sign Schultz to a longer-term deal, he's not even going to have a $10 million hit on the cap this year. It might go all the way down to $4 or $5 million. So they're going to have even more money. They may have, but before the season starts, they might have $30 million under the cap.
Put it like this, Coach.
But this would,
If you are a fan of the Cowboys, you would prefer the Cowboys to come out with an agreement for Schultz for a long-term deal versus him playing that 1 year, because that 10.9 is going to hit and you can't spread it out, because if you spread this long-term deal out, the money is going to increase by the year 2024 anyhow. You might not even feel it.
I know, listen, Law, and I've said this about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I know you said, things are different now. Let me tell you something. Once you play in Cowboy land and you play well, they're going to take C4 to blow you up to get you out of there.
Yo, true that.
There's too much money, too much stuff for future careers. You can't tell me ages. You got guys that played for the Cowboys that have moved back to Dallas after they went on, and they were just backups. Because when you're associated with the star, and this is not talking as a Cowboy fan, this is just, everybody in the league knows this. Mm-hmm. You don't want to leave Dallas. Now, you probably play hardball. Schultz is not going anywhere. Yes, it may cost us more, but it's going to cost us more in a way where they can restructure it and it still be the same type of cap hit. But if he plays well, right? And let's say this hypothetically, I'm gonna let you go on. Hypothetically, okay. Let's say Schultz plays well. This Cowboy team has a great season. We go ahead and win the Super Bowl.
Oh my God!
Hold up now. Let's he plays well. We win the Super Bowl. Then we start signing this people stuff, right? You think Schultz gonna ask for the top of the line tight end money? You would say yes, right?
Man.
Because if you have a great year, you would say yes.
Man, he can ask whatever
But what if they say?
Go ahead.
Hold up now.
You got a Super Bowl, right? Go ahead.
You got a Super Bowl ring, but they're gonna say, "Nah, Schultz, we won't give you about 14 million APR, maybe down in 10. Maybe make you a top 5 tight end, but nowhere close to the top." You think Schultz gonna say, "I'm gonna run to go somewhere else with money"? No, he ain't gonna take that.
Wait, look. Cowboys
because he
is the
knows
creme
he
de la
is a
creme.
gift they're gonna keep giving.
Yeah.
Because if he don't take it long, guess what? All those tight ends you said signed with a 1-year contract, they'll be waiting at the doorstep.
Yes, indeed. Hey, Coach.
I
appreciate you so much.
Contract, they'll be waiting at the doorstep, Law.
You're right.
We in the win situation, Cowboy fans. If he plays well, we can replace him with another guy that's going to come in here and say, man, he ain't signed that, man. They use their tight ends well over there. Those same guys you said 1-year contract, they do well, they ain't on no contract, they'll come over to Dallas in a heartbeat.
No doubt. You spitting the truth over here, man. Coach, I always appreciate you when you call in with your wisdom and understanding of the
Keep
game.
putting the word out there, Law, man. You're doing great shows, man. You're doing great shows.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, my man.
That's Coach Marv, ladies and gentlemen. That's Coach Marv. He's right on the money. He's right on the money with it. Okay. Sugar Daddy 1 says Blake Jarwin's injury really complicated things for us. Yeah, it really did. It really did. All right, for those who calling in, let me kick off this other segment, and then I'm going to let you guys jump in. I really appreciate everyone, so hold tight, people that's in the call line. Just give me 1 second. I got to open this up right quick because I got to slap somebody, right? You can give a pre-slap.
Focus agrees. They backed up the running backs take. They ranked the Eagles roster.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, Shay Sharp give the Eagles a 2, and Skip Bayless give them a 9. I want to know for you guys on a scale of 1 to 10, the Eagles. What do you guys have? As far as a threat to the Cowboys, is it a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? 10 being the highest. Gerard right in the middle. Lacey right at 1. Weaver's right at 7. Army Mom is right at 4. Cal is right at 5. Fernando like 100. Appreciate you. 3, I don't see. Okay, so most of you guys right in the middle, basically, right? You're not looking at it like they closed, like far as the gap aspect. I said this and I say it again. If they had a prominent defensive coordinator, maybe, that can get things going for them, maybe that would be a situation and scenario. Teams do improve in a year stance. I'm not saying that they can't, right? Gathering of players doesn't mean that you're going to have a dominant team. I just gave the example about what Shay Sharp said about the Browns, right? So Cowboy Sports Report by Charles in Charge says a 2. I feel you. No threat at all. I feel you, Thomas. That's how I'm looking at it. No threat at all, man, because, you always have.
We answered. I talked stuff. I thought we had it. But it goes to show you who's the better team. And I'm sticking Cowboys.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna flap the hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Let's go Birds, fly Eagles, fly. Still Super Bowl champion.
Hey, man, I'll play that to my beard turn gray, baby. Hey, I really appreciate you guys so much for jumping in for this episode. Thank those who called. I really thank those who donated. I appreciate that. Thank those who subscribe to this channel. One way or another, we always going to try to go live at least once a day, or if not, give you some type of content. So it's always good to hit that notification bell. Right, there's no rhyme or reason when I do go live. Tomorrow, me, Rome, Mr. Rome, and as well as Cowboys fans only, Jay Tuck, we're going to try to do another trifecta podcast or the triplet podcast on tomorrow. And it may be later because of my guy Jay Tuck. He got business things that he got to take care of. So it may be a late night. It's not going to be the late night hype, but it'll be a late night show. The three of us tomorrow, Cowboy Nation, and we will be talking about anything and everything that's factoring around the Cowboys. Facts, law. Remember, then the Washington Reds had Bruce Smith, Mark Carrier, prime, and was only at 500, right? And especially, put it like this. This is where I see the Eagles. It's going to be the Cowboys, number 1 in this division. Washington Commanders going to finish out number 2. And the Eagles going to finish out in 3rd place. I truly see it right now. And the Giants, It's going to be a strong battle between the Giants and the Eagles. Watch. And y'all going to come back. Y'all going to be like, man, you know what? Lord, he crazy. But, man, that dude was right about that, man. Those Washington Commodores, man, they in second place, and the doggone Cowboys finish out back-to-back division champs. Watch. This will happen. It is July the 5th, the day after July the 4th. I want you guys to mark it down, place it somewhere, and just repeat it. Just repeat it, to the four corners of the world. And everybody going to be like, yeah, because last year they called me crazy until it happened, right? Yeah, that's what they do. That's what people do. And I tell people all the time, there's one thing a man shall always do, mainly to himself be true. Never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they bring makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, keep it at a moderate tone, because raised voices turns hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was all of those people saying, fly, Eagles, fly. But in the end, we all know it turned around to cry, Eagles, cry, to the land of no victory. Ain't that right, Fernando? I see you in there, man. Shout out to you, though, man. Fernando! The morals of life: live, love, and respect for another. But then there are those who will try to be smart. They would take a decent man to try to alter his heart until they seek to rip him apart. But those no man, or no friend, or no fans, say to themselves that that's my friend, because they bend lies around the truth until it meets their end. The battle is a long one. The war is far from being over. Ain't that right, Fernando? Ain't that right, Norma? Davis, is far from being over. Out of the nights that cover me black, it's a pit from pole to pole. I thank God for my unconquerable soul, right? That type of language that I'm spitting to you guys. But you got to keep your head high. Continue to grind. If you got clean hands over here, if your fingernails are clay, get away from me. I'm looking for some grinders. I'm looking for some maulers over here. Some ballers, baby. I'm looking for somebody that's willing to get it out of the mud. Sweating so much that they are sweating. Ain't that right, Philadelphia? He says, Lord, been crying since 1995, right? But we know who the real ones here, because we are not folding because of our record. Simmons says, Law Nation, keep up the good work. My God, appreciate you for the donation. Here's the thing. Some people roll with their team only because they're winning. Some people ride with their team only because they are in the spotlight. But y'all know that we are right here because of the meditations of our heart. We bleed silver and blue, right? And it pumps out with passion. It pumps out with pressure and pain. We stuck in this game, holler my name, right? So it could be, how about them Cowboys? And it could have been since 75, since 65. Or 85, or 2005, it don't matter. We're going to keep it live. We still rooting for our team. And yeah, we do have some blind optimism, blind faith, but we're not folding up like a wallet or a lawn chair. Because as I pause this for my guy, Philadelphia, maybe this is him in his video. Maybe we do need to say this to him. Let's pause it right quick. Got some more breaking news. He want to re-talk about it.
I talked stuff. I thought we had it. but it goes to show you who's the better team, and I'm sticking Cowboys.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna flap the hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Let's go Birds, fly, Eagles fly. Still Super Bowl chance for now.
It's a doggone shame what they did to that Eagle. God dog, boy.
Now, so the cocaine's happening. When does that crack come into play for you?
The two teams, in my opinion, with the greatest rivalry as far as this city is concerned, took the field. And the team from this city, they didn't even show up. We got out-coached. We got out-physicaled. We got out-manned. We got out-wanted to. We got out-aggressive. You name it. Any adjective that you can come up with, the Dallas Cowboys outdid us in that area. Because if there's two games that you get up for, you get up for the damn Dallas Cowboys. The two teams, in my opinion, the greatest rivalry. The two teams, in my opinion.
I thought we had it, but it goes to show you.
Back to the... Yeah, so Philadelphia, we want you to keep that same energy. But I do trust your reporters more than you. I think that they got a closer connection to their team. So I'm going to listen to what they said. They tried to answer, but the Cowboys are just a better team. That's not from your mouth, that's from their mouths, right? I think they got a little bit more pulse of the communication line to your Eagles. But as your father talked to you today, I hope you learned one valuable piece of information. Don't deal with greatness if you're not ready to get hit in the face with the truth. That is the realism of it all. But I appreciate you for reminding us that it's been since 1995 and you still using your neck muscles to look up to us because you haven't closed the gap in that category. But that's been my time. It's all love, man. I love you, man. I'm your dad. You know, I love you, son. I'm still waiting on my Father's Day gift, man. I really appreciate you, though. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Oh, my gosh, man. Come on. Appreciate all of you all for watching. Yeah.
Nowadays, nothing really is. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinking, she freeze. Photo, please, no photos.
Execute Order 66.
Hit the door and the domain just whole team here might need some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up a way till I open this and start another one. In my baggy life, talk of the town where you're talking up. Wanna get you a ring and you tough enough. Wanna get you new things with your pockets dull. Run it up. I used to be quiet and out of luck. Now I move up and move humble cause the hate and the jealousy. My mama telling me count up your blessings and run it up. Nowadays nothing really is. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's I got wifey on bling and she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. Jeez, no, please, no photos. I keep giving game away. I put game on layaway. I got paid to play today. I get paid to stay away. I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I will never sell my only soul.
Never.
Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know.
Come on, y'all know
all this
who
acting,
it
you
is.
gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign
Pray
you up.
for rain,
Dry
you
you
gotta deal
out
with
and
the
they
mud
line you
too.
up. Ooh, now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food.
Come on.
Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news.
Let's slow it down just a little bit. I really appreciate all you guys jumping in.
Only one of me and nobody's phone ringing and I tell him it's I got wifey on bling and she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please.
Let's go. If you're watching all the way to this point and you have not subscribed nor shared this content or joining the notification or even hit the like button.
Shame.
Roll Tide, I see you, Dave.
Shame. Shame.
Let's slow it down just a little bit, man. Let's get on up out of here. Yeah. Come on. Hey. Shout out to all of the non-Cowboy fans that's still here. And shout out to all of the real ones that's here. Come on.
You know it's dangerous to go alone. Don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your player too? I'll follow wherever you go, whatever you do. Player too.
Sing it.
If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly,
I want me some glory hole.
Sit down, Jerry.
Doesn't feel that far.
Settle down.
So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
One love, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate y'all so much for jumping in. I really do. Let's get it the best way possible. We up out.
You could not live with your own failure.
Stay safe, everyone. Appreciate y'all. One love. Shout out to you, Tony. Shout out to you, I Love Weed, as well as Normal. Philadelphia, appreciate you. And Christian Thomas, appreciate you. One love. Salute. Until next time, you're right.